Hey, what's going on, everybody? In this video, we're looking at the prize picks plays for this Sunday slate. I haven't been making these videos every day, but yesterday I post these on Twitter even on days that I don't make the video, and we went 4-0 pretty easily. And when they said Scotty Barnes was going to play off the bench, I jumped on that under 14.5. Clarkson doubled that easily. The 13 was super low. And then they gave Trent and Tobias really low scores for their fantasy scores, even though they're playing 40 plus minutes, and they both hit that very easily. So I wanted to go ahead and make a video to share today's picks. I'm in PA, so Prize Picks still not available yet, but I'm making these for you guys to take advantage of, and because they do sponsor the channel. So shout out Prize Picks. Use my code if you wanted to try it out, and use my picks if you wanted to. If you feel good about them as well. The code is process. And let's go ahead and get into it. Hit the like button if you enjoy. I'll also be looking at the board on Prize Picks today. We're starting off with the points here. Giannis is 32.5. He's not hit that very often. He's hit that once, and that was just by half a point, which was in the second most recent game. Put up 33. And I don't mind taking the under on that. It's not the easiest one to feel great about. That's a pretty high total. We've seen some stars not really hit their over on their points too often, at least in some of these series. Other ones like that Suns one has been a different story. DeRozan's been all over the place. He scored 18, 41, and 8 and 11. So the average might be around like 20 plus, like 25 plus. But really the floor and is very different, and it's pretty volatile on DeRozan. Put this over here. Next up, Drew Holiday, 19.5. We saw some other guys. They still have a deep bench, even without Chris Middleton. They're still playing a lot of guys. So, and he's not one I feel confident in. I'm looking at taking the overs. Don't feel confident in any of those top three guys. One that I do feel pretty good about is taking the over on Nikolai Vucevic's 19.5. He's hit that easily the first two games of the series. In the last game, they got blown out by 30 points. They only put up 81 points. Vuce did have like 20% of those with 19. And he lost like at least 7 or 8 minutes in what he normally plays in a close game. He only played 30 minutes, and he played 40 in the first game, like 37 or 36 in the second game, but that was with foul trouble with 5 fouls. So if we're getting good minutes out of Vooch, full minutes, if it's going to be a lot closer a game, 19.5 shouldn't be an issue for him to hit. Also, like Bobby Portis with him starting, he lost some minutes too. Everybody in this game lost minutes with the blowout, but Portis was on track to hit that easily. He did hit it anyways, but he would have been blown it out of the water last game. Further down here, I like Jokic will drop over 30 at home here, as long as they keep it within like 10 points or so, and in the fourth quarter, and that's normally what you'd expect them to do at home in Denver. It's a different story. They play at their pace. They have the crowd behind them, so very less likely that they'll get blown out and get swept, especially with Jokic looking like he's going to be the MVP. Not a good look if your MVP gets swept in the first round. Other options here at the points board, like Wiggins and Gordon, guys I don't feel confident in too much here. Gordon's only hit that once. Monty Morris has gotten close to this, like all the games here. He's been around like 10 to 12, 4 straight games. 3 in the series. He's averaging 10, 12, and 10. So 12 isn't a bad number to get to him. Probably like a 50-50 proposition there. I'm going to target some of these guys in the Pelicans game. That is the one that I feel the best about, the one that has that's been the highest scoring total besides like that Timberwolves series. And we've seen all these guys like blow it out of the water. Chris Paul got it done in the fourth, so he wasn't on track to hit it, but he still got there. Whereas Brandon Ingram continues to just play really well this series. Less chances of getting blown out without Devin Booker there. Last game they only lost by 3. They're probably looking to tie this series up heading back to Phoenix. So I like Brandon Ingram at 25.5. I also think you can take a shot on McCollum. Both of these guys are just doing everything for them on the offensive end. We've seen like Valanciunas not taking many shots, and like they're just playing 40 plus minutes, so they're really handling the ball and looking for each other and just playing a nice two-man game that way. Ayton had a great game, 28 points. 20.5 isn't a bad number, but I might take his like fantasy score, which is only at 38 instead. He's going to get a lot of rebounds, going to maybe get some defensive stats with blocks, and he's going to be looking at more usage without Devin Booker there. And then I don't mind taking the over on Jay Crowder. He didn't hit a 3 last game, 0 of 5. He's played 34 minutes. 9.5 is pretty low. I wonder what they'll have for Cam Johnson. If Cam Johnson is like at 12.5 or like 13.5, I'll also take the over on that. Moving over to the assist board, see if there's anything that we like here. At the top 3, don't see anything. The first 3, maybe the under on Holiday wouldn't be the worst thing, but it's still tough to judge because of the blowout nature last game. And this series has just been all over the place. Brook Lopez 0.5 assists. It's very low, but he could be losing some minutes with Portis, how well he played last game. If they wanted to, they're not going to play too many minutes. Like to play a lot of minutes during the game with all three of Giannis at the 3, Portis at the 4, and Lopez at the 5. I mean, they don't need to do that against Chicago. Further down here, Jokic been struggling getting assists in the series, so you might take the under there if you're feeling a bit confident. It's always tough to do that for a guy like Jokic because can easily bite you. This board isn't too appealing for me. Maybe take a shot on these Pelicans guys. We've seen Ingram hit 9 assists. He's also hit 2 assists and 4 assists. Chris Paul has hit that easily. 14-14 last 2 series, last 2 games. That might be one you can take a shot on. But this board isn't as appealing as the points board. Looking at the rebounding board, I think you can definitely take a shot on Vooch's over 10.5 rebounds if you're not going to take a play at his points. Also, you can go with Bobby Portis. He had 16 boards. Going to be looking at good minutes here. Assuming he's starting again, 9.5 is definitely a pretty good number for Portis. Further down here, Barton had a 10 rebounding game. He followed up with a 4 rebounding game. He should be flirting around this number. Or if he's having a very good game, he can easily just exceed that. At the bottom end here, I think Butler at 6.5 looks pretty good. Especially if there's no Lowry, just a little bit more usage for him. And Lowry's a guy that does get you some rebounds, even though he's undersized. Ayton looks good at 10.5 rebounds. And at the bottom end, Herb Jones 3.5 isn't the worst. But I also think you can maybe look to McCollum. Or Ingram at 6.5. Probably McCollum looks a little bit better. And then last but not least, at the fantasy board, we'll probably get the last 2 spots here. For top 3, DeRozan, if he does show up today, it'll be nice. He should hit that easily if he does. Second 3, I like Vooch's 39. Probably take the under on Lopez's 26 with Bobby Portis taking away some of his minutes there. LaVine is at a low total, but he has been struggling this series. I like Jokic taking the over on his 58 at home. He put up 73 last game. Yeah, they still lost. If they want to extend the series, it's going to be on Jokic to dominate and do exactly what he did last game and hope that his teammates show up a little bit. Further down here, I don't mind taking Monty Morris. Over 24 is a pretty good number. And then I like Brandon Ingram at 42 if you're not going to be looking at his points board. And you can also take a shot on CJ McCollum over 42 fantasy points. But I'm going to go ahead and put in DeAndre Ayton over 38. Also a pretty low total. Those are the 4 that I like. You can do a 10x there or do a flex entry if you wanted to play a little bit safer. But that's one that I like. And then maybe if I'm feeling confident, I can throw in McCollum as well to make it a 10x potentially with Vooch over 19.5, Ingram over 25.5, Jokic over 58, Ayton over 38, and McCollum over 42. That's if you want to be a little bit greedy. He's hit that 3 straight games. Don't see why he couldn't do that. That's one to consider. Now, on the edge, if you're being a little bit risky, you can do that and make it a 10x. But that's it. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Best of luck. Make some money, and I'll see you all next time.